Namaste and welcome back to my channel. So, Vipassana, to do or not to do, that's what we are going to discuss today. And yeah, someone asked me, like I've been approached by my students, especially the ones who are listening to my pods every now and then. They are wondering, like, why am I not recording videos? So, frankly, you know, I've gotten myself busy into something like really which takes up a lot of time. And consequently, I do not get the opportunity to edit the videos. So I have no issues recording the videos, but then it requires some editing before sending and all. So that's what I'm not getting the time for doing. Okay. Consequently, I find making podcasts much easier. And then, the the thing that I really want to share is also shared. So the work is done, right? In Hindi, what we call ek panth do kaj. So that is why the podcasts are being recorded, okay? And this is the main idea is that, the thing should be shared, right? Okay. So let's come back to it, to Vipassana, to do or not to do. Now, at the very outset, I'd say definitely you must do. But when do you qualify to do is the question. So, first of all, let's ask why should you do Vipassana? Okay. Now, Vipassana is this ancient technique which was developed even before Gautam Buddha. He is the one who brought about a few changes within it. Okay. He kind of tweaked a few processes and he kind of added a few things into it by himself, and he made it, like what it is today. And which actually, when done um, in accordance to how much you should be doing it, can reach you to enlightenment. And there are three parts to Vipassana. First one is the Anapana meditation, which focuses on the nose, the breathing, and the sensations that are created within the nose. Now, for some people, and I was one of those people, by the way, like 10 years ago, I might have been that one person who would say, now, how does it really help to focus on your nose? And how does it really help to focus on your breath? But that's the magic of it. When you start focusing on the breath, you realize that breath is all there is, right? When this breath stops, you don't exist. Your body exists. You are not there. You are not the entity, Arunimasana, okay? Or whatever is your name. So, Anapana is the first stage, and that develops mind mastery. If you do Anapana only for a few days, then you will be able to actually master your mind. Like you'll have a great amount of focus. Then comes the next one, which is Vipassana. Actually, in Vipassana, you actually scan through your entire body. And it also has like sub processes, which in the 10 days you are taught, and there are further courses as well, which I'm intending to do. And so, in those processes, they actually get you to scan the entire body, like even the smallest of sensations. Like in the beginning of my spiritual journey, like when I started realizing that, okay, all these things, like I started awakening to spirituality and to my own existence and who am I kind of questions 3 4 years ago. Then at that point of time, I would be concerned about every little twitch, tingle, any sensation in my body anywhere. And like last year, I realized that no, not everything has a meaning. Okay. The meaning is that you are becoming aware. Okay. You're becoming conscious of your own body. We are so distracted that we do not know anything. What is happening to our body? And then with this level of focus, you are able to even know what is happening with your body deep inside. Okay. Then, so the Vipassana can actually take you to, that high level of, when you do it to an extent, to that high level of towards enlightenment. Okay. And then there is this exercise of metta wherein you share all your good deeds with all the, all the species across the earth. It's not just human beings, but with everyone. Like with, you kind of develop this friendship, and you're ready to share the fruits of your good deeds with everyone. And that is actually the most magical element of, being at Vipassana, because you know we have been, and because Vipassana also comes from the Hinduist philosophy, the Buddhist, ultimately the Hinduist, the fact that 84 lakh, you know times you've been born to be able to become a human being. And even past life regression and other psychological findings take you to the same thing, that 84 lakh times you've been born, and you have lived in different existences as a tree, as different kinds of animals, to be able to become a human being. Okay. And number of human lifetimes as well. So anyway, coming back to this thing, that why should you be doing Vipassana? Think about the brain. Now, brain is a great device. Brain is a device like a mobile phone, I'd say. Okay. Probably an Apple iPhone. Let's imagine that. Okay. So you have like number of features. However, it's also a great distraction. Okay. You think about the five senses that human beings have. The five senses, like the sense of taste. You can taste, and that is why you can enjoy your meals. But because you have a sense of taste, that's also a distraction, because of which a lot of people would not want to eat healthy food at all. They're ready to take junk food, which is actually garbage, right? You will not go and eat garbage, okay? But you will eat garbage in form of tasty food, right? Who doesn't know what is maida? Who doesn't know, right? And caffeine. But the intake of all these elements is so high. So what ultimately happens with Vipassana is that this element of brain, which has been churning a lot of disasters, like in the sense that we stress about useless things. Everyone knows that if there is a problem, your stressing over it is not going to solve the problem. Your logical thinking and your planning, you know, will solve it, right? So taking tension will not solve it, but yet the brain is conditioned in that way. So what Vipassana does is, it gets you to become detached with the situation. Like, for example, the fight and the flight mode, like, your sense of fear. Fear is something that really comes up. My God, I have undergone that. And fear of what? Fear of everything. Like, and this ancient part of the brain is still there. Like, the primitive man had this fight or flight mode. So if there's a tiger in front of you, either you have to fight the tiger or you have to fly away, like you have to run away. So that is the kind of response humans also give to situations, to problems. And it depends on what are your uh, inner child issues, or what are your psychological issues, or your past life issues, which determine which mode are you going to choose, fight or flight. And there are other also, you become numb and stuff like that. So the fact that ultimately you come into that zone of wherein you still are attached to the outside world so much that it should not be bothering you so much as you are bothered already. What is the cause of cancer? I'm sure that many people will not like hearing this, but all these diseases, there are these books by Louis Hay, and you must buy them. Like really, they're like for 200 rupees or something like that, which tell you that which disease and what part of your body indicates what. Like I can tell you for myself, I have suffered from hypothyroidism, which is a problem in the throat chakra. And at the point of time I got it, it was an immediate effect of a relationship in my life wherein I started feeling that someone is like snubbing me. Someone is like, I'm not allowed to speak, I'm not allowed to express myself. And that feeling was so suffocating. And within 2 months, I got hypothyroidism. Yeah, that is the reality. And that is why I'm one of those people, like, and that is why I'm able to solve many of my other issues, like migraines and all. I solve it through healing. I don't eat medicine. It's like once in a 6 months, maybe I take medicine for a headache or something. But mostly I solve it through Ho'oponopono or one of these meditations or something. So the fact that what Vipassana gets you to do is it it deconditions your mind, so to say, if there is a word like that. It deconditions your mind to detach totally from these external things and gets you to realize, dude, this is not a part of you. This is outside you. You don't need to care for this. Of course, the technique is very difficult, no doubts about that. And for the first 2 3 4 days, you get such a bad pain in your legs and in your back, because there is no backrest ideally. unless you say that you're suffering from some kind of disease and you need a backrest, which is again not very what do you say, like, it's not very comfortable. The ones I saw who had ordered for it and said ki bhai mera to this kind of operation has happened, that has happened. And of course, if you're suffering from those issues, you should definitely ask for it. But if you're not suffering, then you should give it a try without the backrest. And there was so much of pain, but you know what, like on the fifth day, some real big, for other people it happened on the fifth, sixth day. For me it happened on the third day only, that the pain was actually released. I started feeling those sensations so much, and you had to focus on the sensations. That is what Vipassana is all about. So when I started focusing on those sensations, the pain went. And that is what it is, it gets you to realize that all kinds of pain, problems, diseases are all created by the brain. It detaches you from your own mind, like in the sense that the negativity is of the brain, and makes you to realize that brain is also just another device, like just another organ in your mind, in your body, right? You must take Vipassana if you have not totally surrendered yourself into the material pleasure. Like if food, alcohol, money, and sex are the only things in your life, then definitely this podcast wasn't meant for you. But if you really look for another kind of, because if I say a higher kind of existence, I'm sure it will sound judgmental, but that is what I ultimately feel at my heart, that the worldly pleasures are nothing. However, if you are looking forward to a kind of a meaningful life, then you must take Vipassana. You must take Vipassana. And 9 days of keeping quiet, it is like, we are like that bottle. Think of a bottle. You are going to, you're wanting to fill bottle in, the water inside that bottle, and there are multiple holes. Okay. And then you're trying to fill water. What will happen? The water will seep out. Like, it will obviously not be, you can't fill that bottle. So the same thing happens when we keep our eyes open, keep looking at the gadgets, devices, oh my God, keep distracting ourselves. The ears is also like being used the whole day. You're speaking all throughout the day. Now, when you keep quiet for 9 days, and when you close your eyes for the 10 hours Vipassana, obviously there are breaks, and you don't hear anything except the voice of Mr. S.N. Goenka, who's only going to speak when it is required, otherwise, no. You realize that, oh, there's a world out there which is filled with calmness, happiness, and silence is like, a great magic. Those are the things that you're going to realize when you go for Vipassana. So the answer to do or not to do, obviously you must do. But when to do is the question I had told you, right? So when should you go for Vipassana? You should go for Vipassana when you are in a comparatively tranquil mindset. Okay. So like people think that, Arunima, how could you do Vipassana in the first go? Like 10, 11 days of keeping quiet and staying away from family, and the mobile phone is not available to you, and food is meager. You don't have a dinner at all. Let me tell you that the food is served at 11:30, and after that in the evening you just get chai and something like phari, what do you call it? Bhel. That's it. You don't get much food. But after the first day, you don't feel like complaining also for the food, because you're not doing much. And that is for the first timers, okay? The second timers don't even get bhel in the evening, okay? They get only something like a meager tea that is also not having milk. Okay, so till 11:30 they can eat properly. And in the evening at 5 o'clock or so, you get something like a tea without milk, and then just that. That's it. Yeah. And then obviously you sleep at 9 o'clock, wake up at 4 o'clock. It's not easy. It's not easy. So when should you be able to go there? You should be able to go there after number of things that you've done in your life. First, you should be able to meditate before that. If your meditation has not started or not gone beyond 10 minutes, you are not the right fit for going to Vipassana. You will most likely be that girl. I met this lady who was like, lately married. She was like still wearing her chuda and all. She gave me a long lecture about pata hai, like my husband has said this, he has been to Vipassana for 3 times, and yahi to hamari zindagi hai. The kind of philosophical and moral lecture she gave me, I knew it on the first day that this lady, dude, she's not going to stay for long. That time I didn't know that if I'll be able to make it for 10 days or not, because it was my first attempt. But you really have to be experienced in meditation before that. Like, you must have done some form of healing or meditation for a year, 2 years, then only should you attempt it. Otherwise, you'll be one of those people who run away on the sixth day also. Like, I've heard of people leaving on the second day also. Yeah, so that is the reality. So, to do or not to do, you must do. But you must prepare yourself beforehand so that you are not one of those people who are like, अब तो नहीं हो पाएगा, I can't live there. There was this lady who asked me that she was also a twin flame. She asked me, she said to me that I left on the fourth or fifth day, something like that, she said. And she read my book and she said that, how did you have out of body experience and stuff like that. So I said that whatever I find does not align with my life, I give it up. Whether it be my marital lack of bliss or something like that, or whether it be the career I'm in, I do not tolerate nuisance now because I've tolerated it enough in my lifetime. So now is the time when I'm giving up on everything that does not align with my spiritual purpose. She did not understand this at all because she is living with a karmic husband who is an abusive husband. And I'm not trying to make fun of her, okay? I don't want to talk about my personal life here, but I know that a lot of women are undergoing abuse, different forms of abuse, different forms. And but the fact is that, and we feel we disempower ourselves by saying that, oh my God, I did not have a choice. Yes, maybe for that moment you didn't have a choice. It cannot be that for the whole lifetime you didn't have a choice. God has given you you. Choose yourself above everyone else. No one matters as much as you matter, not even your children. Yes, I will say that again, not even your children. You are the most important entity. First, live for yourself, only then can you be a great mother. So, the fact that, I remember I was like in a situation where I had to choose between myself and my children, and, like when I chose my life um, away with my children, I had to give them love, but I had to get myself back to be giving them real love. So I got myself back. I started singing, and I started making myself feel empowered in any which way. Okay. So that is a part of yourself. Make it a choice. Even being disempowered is a choice. Facing abuse is also a choice. There is always an alternative of walking out. Like I heard someone say, I had put up this quote like, if you don't like the place, move out. You're not a tree. Someone said, it's not always possible. I said, whether it's possible or not is what your mind is telling you. You can always make things possible for yourself. So that's it for today. To answer the question in short, yes, you must do Vipassana, but after 1 or 2 years of healing. Thank you so much. Signing off, Arunima.